Hi, guys. I'm Meg. Oh, hi. This is great. This is my first story slam ever, and I'm also a recovering York hater, so I just moved back here, actually, after 11 years away, like the prodigal daughter of York, and I am actually super happy to be back here. So many cool things have happened since I was gone, and one cool thing is that before I ever left, there was a little seed of entrepreneurism that was planted in here that got to grow up, and now I'm back. And it's actually a running joke in my family. When I was born, I actually spent the first 2 weeks of my life in the NICU because I opened my mouth too soon and swallowed the fluid and almost died. And everyone in my family says Meg opened her mouth too soon and hasn't shut it since. So there you go. But I've always been the type of person that could talk to anyone no matter what. And when I was 8 years old and I got my first bead kit. And the first thing I wanted to do is, I wanted to make jewelry, but I wanted to sell the jewelry. I was like, I couldn't wait to get out there and sell it. So I asked my grandfather if I could go along, and I wanted to he was a flea market master. I mean, this guy was selling new Kids on the Block bandanas and weird stuff like that. But I set up my little jewelry next to him, and I could talk the biggest biker dude into buying a little heart bracelet. And that's what I would do. But there was one particular day in my early entrepreneurial days that stands out in my mind. We were living on Madison Avenue, and it was the dead of summer. It was hot outside. And my mom and dad were at work, and my aunt was supposed to be watching us, but she was sunbathing in the backyard, which was not a good idea, especially with me. But I would just talk to strangers and stuff. And it was Wednesday, and Friday was coming up real fast. And that meant I was having my mall date with my best friend Heather, and I needed air hockey and milkshake money real bad. So I hadn't done any flea markets, so I was like, okay, I am kind of low on funds. Kind of tried to think, what could I do? I noticed a whole bunch of construction workers working on the house next door. So I walked on over and I said, hey guys, it's really hot outside, isn't it? And they look at me like, thanks, Captain Obvious, who the hell is this girl? And I'm like, well, I think you guys probably are really thirsty. And they're like, I could just bring you water, or for $5, I could make you guys a pitcher of iced tea. And they were like, oh, so they decided that they were going to do that. And I was like, yes, $5. That's all I need is $5 for a mall date with Heather. So I went walking upstairs, and I come into the door, and I realized I've never even made iced tea before. So I've seen my mom do it a million times, though, so I got this. No big deal, whatever. I, turn on the water. I make what I think is iced tea. I put 8 tea bags in there and a cup of sugar, and okay, cool. And they drank it. They totally drank it. And I actually didn't even have cups. I really didn't think this through. Not at all. So I had to pull out every cup in our cupboard, take it down there, and serve them with this. So at this point, my mom comes home from work. And she's opening the cabinet to grab a glass, and there's nothing in there. And she's like, Meg, wait. She's looking in the sink, looking around. She's like, where are all the cups? And I was like, oh, well, actually, I think they're in the yard next door. And she's like, okay. And I was like, well, yeah, so I actually made a pitcher of tea and sold it to the construction workers. And she was like, and how did this happen? And I explained to her, and she goes, okay, cool. Well, so you used my tea bags in my sugar? And I was like, yeah. She's like, okay, that'll be $1.50 to cover your material costs. There went my milkshake. So she's like, and how did you make this iced tea anyway? And I was like, well, I put 8 tea bags in and a cup of sugar. She's like, in that little pitcher? She's like, they must have been Southerners. They had some real sweet tea. And I was like, oh. She's like, you actually told somebody that you would make them tea and you didn't know how to make it. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, okay. So she went, she's like, go gather up the cups, come back inside. And she's like, now you're going to just scrub them for at least 15 minutes each. She was like, So I sat there and kind of recapped my day. And I have to say that I learned 2 valuable entrepreneurial lessons that day. One is, don't forget to, there's a big difference between net profit and gross profit. So make sure to add that extra $1.50 next time to cover your material costs. And also, you don't want to be the type of person that says they can do something that they can't do, right? It's called, maybe kind of lying or under-promise and over-deliver, over-promise, under-deliver. What I guess my moral of the story was, best intentions don't necessarily make the best tea. So next time, I won't do that. Yeah.